Today is Friday, December the 10th, and I'm going to show you the importance of the Chico span in a number of charts. First of all, the McClellan index remained pretty much where it was the day before. It dropped 32. The summation index took a little bit of a jump up. So it was dropping precipitously, and then it increased, and now it's dropping again, but only a little bit. So let's just say the summation index has sort of been flat now for the last 3 days. But let's take a look at the markets, and let's take a look at the Chico span in particular. And look at the Chico span in the Dow Jones. Stopped right, if I bring my green line up to where we closed, the Chico span stopped right at the bottom of that candle. That's one. NASDAQ, the Chico span is in the clear, so the NASDAQ looks like it's going higher. The SPX, Chico span is in the clear. We did make a new closing high, so if you put that green line up there, you can see that that is a new closing line for the S&P. That indicates that the S&P, after bouncing off the cloud pretty much, should be going higher. The volatility index took a major drop on Friday, the fear index. Now look at Apple. Apple away, far away. Abbott taken off. Caterpillar, Chico span right at the bottom. Where is it? Right in here. Let's just zoom in here. And you've got the Chico span right there, right on the 200, and price was supported on the 200. So these are the coincidences that we talk about. Price on the 200, let's just take that green line out of there. Price on the 200, and back here the Chico span is at the bottom of the candle and the 200. So you know that sophisticated trading algorithms had tagged that as where we should get support at the end of the day. IBM, Chico span has got a place where it can break through. This is looking good. Stopped at the 50, but it should be going higher. Lucid, Chico span got support at the top of this candle, almost hit resistance at the 50. Neo, Chico span's not telling us much. We've got a bit of a bear flag here. We've got this drop, and now you've got this wedge here. That's a bit of a bear pennant. Usually means more downside. Let's take a look and see. It's pretty beaten up stock. Sava, this is the trend line. 1, 2, 3, and now 4 times hitting this trend line. So it's going to be technically very important next week for Sava. Next week my 45 calls expire, and the stock is now trading at 44.65. I collected $14 for each of those calls because I took them 3 months out into December. I just didn't think they would be releasing any news around the Christmas time or in December, so I felt pretty good about the 45s. Rivian doesn't have a Chico's a cloud yet because it just hasn't been around long enough number of days. Square, this is the death cross that we're worried about, the 50 over the 200. That's not looking good. After having lost the 200 here, having lost the 50, or getting support on the 200, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, breaking over the 50, unable to hold the 50, and then unable to hold the 200 for about a 2-week period. And technically, traders just lost interest in it. So that death cross proved to be important. Let's bring up the cloud, and you can see the cloud and the Chico span just aren't telling us very much on that stock. Amazon, support on the cloud after breaking the 50, losing the 50. So the 50 wasn't as important as the Chico span was, and the traders had the day finishing right at the cloud so that it would get support at its close, right there at the end of the day, right at the cloud. Chico span, so important. Let's take a look at Netflix. We haven't looked at that in a while. Support on the 50. Chico span broke through. Where did it have its high? On the cloud. Resistance on the cloud. So the Chico span wasn't as important as the cloud, but at some point in the day, Netflix hit the cloud, daily cloud, and pulled back. Facebook, support on the cloud now for 2 days, And one of those days was support on the 50. So that was Thursday where the Chico span got support on the 50. So I'm going through a number of stocks here and I'm showing you the importance of the cloud and the Chico span interacting with shapes, with edges, and with trailing moving averages. Let's just take a look at Deer. Does Deer tell us anything? Yeah, look at that. The Chico span ended above the candle after having struggled with the candles 1, 2, 3 days. It finally ends above. Now it's got to contend with the 50, but it's also been bouncing off of the cloud. So two coincidences, right? Price on the cloud, Chico span fighting the candles 26 days back. Deer should be going higher. AT&T is just a pathetic stock. I don't think anything's going to happen until it resolves what it's doing with Discovery. U.S. Bank resistance, the high point of the day was right here, and that was Chico span resistance on the cloud. The traders are also trading that stock on the cloud. Should we look at a few more and see the importance of the Chico span? NVIDIA is not telling us very much, but look what NVIDIA is looking at in terms of support tomorrow. It would be at this price here if it's going to stay above the candles, the Chico span, and keep moving. Let's take another one at random. Let's go to Disney. Disney, right back here, that would have been Thursday. Where was Thursday? Support on the cloud. Interesting, eh? And then it bounced. JP Morgan, and then we'll do Walmart, and then that's it. Support on the cloud. Finished the day exactly on the cloud with the Chico span. How many stocks now have we seen where the Chico span was telling us where the day would end up? Our last one is going to be Walmart. And Walmart, look at that. Chico span resistance, top of the cloud, but more importantly, the bottom of the candle, and support here at the bottom of the cloud. So if it can have a day where this support is more important than this resistance, it's going to squeeze out above this candle, and then Walmart's going to take off. This is a weekly one, by the way. So let's look at the daily. We don't often look at the weeklies. I was looking at that one by mistake, but it's equally fair to look at the weeklies and the dailies. So what does this say? It just says, I think that the market is going to be strong into the end of the year. The indexes are telling us so. The volatility index is telling us. And the Chico span and the cloud are really what you have to watch. They're more important than the moving averages.